This is a continuation of the algorithm for psychopharmacology of PTSD, and in this section we're going to discuss what to do if a patient has been treated with an SSRI and they have psychotic symptoms connected with their PTSD. I show you the flowchart again, and I've got a blue arrow showing you where we are in the algorithm. They have been given an adequate trial of an SSRI, and their response was either no response or they had a partial response to the SSRI and they have psychosis. And we have the psychosis here because PTSD-related psychotic symptoms actually might respond to the SSRI. But if there was no response of anything, we are going to tell you what we think is best. But first, I want to give some examples of PTSD-related psychotic symptoms that have been described in the papers on this. The Yale group has been particularly interested under Mark Hamner in this subgroup of PTSD people who have psychosis. So examples would include auditory hallucinations, hearing soldiers screaming. For example, you might have been on the duty to have to pick up dead bodies of soldiers in Afghanistan or their body parts and put them in bags and take them back to the base. And while you were there doing that, some other soldiers might have been alive and screaming in pain, and others were tending to them. So this is the kind of traumatic experience you can have in a war role. Another example is you've been attacked and assaulted as your trauma, and you may have visual hallucinations. They're like flashbacks to this attacker being about to attack you again. Also, you might have non-bizarre delusions that relate specifically to your trauma somehow, of involvement with a dangerous situation, but it's not bizarre. Usually the bizarre delusions are connected with primary psychotic disorders. You can get paranoid delusions, but usually they're not associated with a flat affect or disorganized thinking that would be part of schizophrenia. So what do we have for studies of this condition? Well, actually the best evidence is with Risperidone. That has an open label report by Dr. Hamner and another one by Rothbaum and colleagues. Quetiapine has had open label data. There was the study by Villarreal in 2016 where they found significant improvement in global PTSD symptoms, especially re-experiencing and hyperarousal clusters, and depression and anxiety, and positive effect on psychosis, but not any negative symptoms. So that is a positive study, but they were a mixture of people, some of whom had positive psychotic symptoms and some did not. So it isn't parsed out whether it was only the psychotic people that got these improvements. So in other words, quetiapine has some reasonable evidence in this study for being a good choice. Villarreal also had monotherapy data, and the way they dosed it was to start with 25 milligrams, but they did go as high as 800. Also, quetiapine has unique effects on dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine receptors, neuropeptide Y, and CRH that could explain benefits on PTSD. Alpha-1 antagonism may help with sleep and nightmare difficulties. So quetiapine is a treatment for PTSD without doubt, and even possibly for psychotic symptoms. What about aripiprazole? Well, the evidence on risperidone and quetiapine are stronger, but in general, it has fewer side effects than those two drugs. So if you're going to use an antipsychotic, what evidence do we have on aripiprazole for psychosis? Well, we had a retrospective chart review where it helped on PTSD clusters and depression severity when added as an adjunct. The other medications were held constant. It was started at 2 to 5 milligrams, titrated up to an average of 12.4 at the end, and there were some improvements in some rating scales. And there actually is a randomized controlled trial of aripiprazole for PTSD in 16 patients. Hardly any. What did it show? Non-significant improvement in PTSD symptoms, depression, and psychosis with adjunctive aripiprazole for 8 weeks in this placebo-controlled trial. So when you add all those studies up, you get a possible for aripiprazole, but it does have less side effects. So what do we conclude? So in these studies, aripiprazole monotherapy is effective in PTSD and comorbid depression in some veterans. Naylor did a monotherapy trial with it, started with 5 milligrams at a mean dose of 10 at final. At week 8, it was well tolerated, reduced intensity and frequency of side effects over time, akathisia being the biggest one. Non-significant improvement in PTSD, though. There's also a study by Yusuf, again monotherapy, flexible dosing, 5 to 30. Side effects included weight gain, concentration difficulties, akathisia, nausea and numbing, and tingling. Significant improvement, though, on total CAPS scores, which is a PTSD scale, especially cluster B, and also PANS improved on all 3 scales. So that was basically a positive study in PTSD. PANS, which measures psychotic symptoms, did improve on all 3 subscales. So, in conclusion, the key points of this section. Some patients with PTSD have psychotic symptoms. They are related to the traumatic events, by definition. Rule out primary psychotic disorder and treat with an appropriate algorithm for that. So, if they have psychosis, sometimes it will remit with an SSRI. If not, we recommend adding an antipsychotic. Risperidone has the best evidence in that it had a clear-cut randomized controlled trial focusing on this subpopulation exclusively. Quetiapine had an RCT with a more mixed population. Aripiprazole has fewer side effects, seems to probably work, so we do favor it as the first antipsychotic to try for this point in the algorithm.